Welcome back to another video from the shed end with myself, T.Dot. As always, thank you very much for joining the channel. Before we get into the content, please go and subscribe to the videos and the channel and give the channels and the videos a thumbs up, and let your friends, your Chelsea friends, know about this channel as well. Make sure you hit the Linktree link in the description as well. That will take you to all our podcast episodes and all our social accounts as well. Now, let's get straight into it, because yesterday, straight after the game, which I very rarely do, and I don't like doing them, a match review straight after the game, because obviously there's a lot of passion still involved. There's still a lot of feelings and emotions and everything else that comes into football. And yesterday, I shouldn't have recorded a video. I should have waited till today to calm down, reassess, rewatch the game like I usually do. And I'm going to be honest, I never did any of that. I never done any of that. I didn't watch the game again. I didn't go back and analyse the game. What's there to analyse? There's nothing to analyse about our performance yesterday. It was poor. We were poor. We were so poor. We made Aston Villa, credit to them, but we made them look brilliant. We made Villa look brilliant yesterday. And that, to me, is the final straw. This is the final straw. Very, very early on, before the World Cup, I said about Graham Potter, I said that he's not, there is no vision, there's no projects to believe in, there's no trust in, no process, because there is no process to trust. I said all this before the World Cup. I said that the excuses would have to stop soon. The fact that Jorginho was being made to be a scapegoat, I was never Jorginho's biggest fan. But Jorginho being a scapegoat will soon end. Whether he left at the end of the season or whether he goes in the January window, and lo and behold, he goes to Arsenal. He can't be used as an excuse now. N'Golo Kante, he's out. He's injured. We need N'Golo Kante to play alongside Enzo Fernandez. He's back now, so we can't use that excuse. Yes, he only played 30 minutes, but as the season goes on, he's going to get more minutes. We can't use that as an excuse now. Mason Mount, not good enough, not playing well. I'll be the first person to criticize any player, Mason Mount, whoever, if they're not playing to the level that we need them to play. Mason Mount hasn't kicked a football in the last 72 hours for Chelsea. We can't use him as the excuse. At one point, Mendy was the excuse. Mendy, he's not good. He doesn't think, we can't use Mendy as the excuse. Now we've got Kepa. Kepa's been in goal, and we've praised Kepa when we need to praise Kepa. We can't. Even to the point we used to criticize Lukaku for not scoring. Lukaku's not in the team. We are too afraid as a club to call out the nonsense that we're having to deal with at this club at the moment. The problem is the manager is not good enough to manage a top club like Chelsea. That's it. That's it. There should be no issue with us saying that at all. Graham Potter is a mid-table manager, and look where we are in the league. We are mid-table. We are mid-table. His press conference after the game yesterday, he actually did say the boys played well. They gave everything they've got. His lovely little buzzwords and statements that he loves to make after games, win, lose or draw. The boys gave everything. They done well. Now, he said we've got a fantastic game against Liverpool on Tuesday. I'll be honest. I think Liverpool are going to wipe the floor with us on Tuesday. We have got a congested April, and we still have Graham Potter in charge. Now, early indications this morning suggest that Graham Potter will not be sacked up until the Real Madrid game. I think this is an issue, but Real Madrid is going to be too late into the season for me. Southampton was too late in the season for me. Graham Potter should have gone well before. The perfect time to sack Graham Potter was after the World Cup, that small break, bring someone in on an interim basis, get them working for the second half of the season. We could push on. We could have kicked on, potentially got a European spot, maybe even Champions League. You look at Liverpool, albeit yesterday's game was not good for them against Man City, but they've been pushing on. They were near us at one point, and we haven't moved. In fact, we've gone down, we've declined, we've gone now into the bottom half of the table. If you want to see Chelsea in the Premier League now, you have to accept the cookies. You can't just see us. You have to accept that little banner that crops up on the webpage. You have to click that to be able to see us now. You have to press other half of the table. You have to scroll down to see us on the table. We're 11th place in the Premier League. I don't know what other signs anyone else who is still believing in this process needs to see, but this is now the point where it's sack the manager, cut your losses, and bring someone else in. Because in the long run, this is going to be this anger that fans are hearing and talking about at the games, and booing, getting sacked in the morning, those sort of chants. That's just now. If we're like this in another 12 months or another 2 years and Graham Potter's still here, there is going to be chaos at Stamford Bridge. Every single game, every game, there'll be protests. There'll be so much noise around the club, and it's the worst thing for Todd Boehly. It's the worst thing for Todd Boehly, because I think he wants to make sure that he gives Graham Potter the sufficient time. He doesn't want to look stupid that he's made a harsh decision in terms of sacking the previous manager and bringing in all these new faces to the club. Spending as much as he has done and seeing these performances. Now, I'm not saying we should be walking the league, or I'm not saying that we should be, steamrolling teams. We shouldn't be doing that. But what we should be doing is we should at least be giving them a game. We should be able to go toe to toe with Aston Villa, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Everton. The fact I'm saying we should be going toe to toe with teams that a couple of seasons ago, we wouldn't even care about Everton. I wouldn't even be worried going into a game against Aston Villa or Everton or Southampton or any of these teams. The fortress that used to be Stamford Bridge, where's it gone? Where's it gone? It's gone. It's completely removed from the club at the moment. It all boils down to the manager. The manager has to take the blame. Yes, we talk about the players, but when you're setting up a team and you've got defenders on the bench, you've got one that can play left side in Badiashile, and you've got a right-sided one in Trevor Chalobah, and you're playing Reece James and Mark Cucurella as your centre-backs. You're going to lose the game. And this one got me this morning. I woke up, I read The Athletic, and I see that Trevor Chalobah was training all week in a back three with the club, with the team, with his squad, with Graham Potter. All week up until Friday, he was training as part of a back three to play against Aston Villa. Now he ends up on the bench. Now if it's an injury or a knock or a muscular issue or something's gone wrong with Trevor Chalobah in the space of 24 hours and he can't play the game, fair enough. But if it's just a case of you wanted to test it out and now suddenly he's come out and said it's more to do with the attacking options. But what they've done by doing that and putting Cucurella and Reece James as the attacking centre-backs, it left Koulibaly so exposed. So exposed. It was unbelievable. The lack of communication between Reece James, Mark Cucurella, Koulibaly, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and I said this last night, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a player that is so frustrating to watch because he's a really good player. He knows how to drive forward with the ball. But the amount of time he takes to put the ball in the box, the amount of time it takes him to get the ball out from underneath his feet, the amount of time it takes for him to actually deliver a cross that gets into the box. And if you notice with Ben Chilwell, a natural left-sided player who can play wing-back or left back, the amount of times we were overloading that side of the field to allow the ball to get into the box. And why didn't we do it for the right? Why didn't we not put Reece James as a right back, put Trevor Chalobah as the right centre-back, and allowed both flanks to be able to deliver the balls into the box? I don't get it. I don't see the vision. I don't see how Graham Potter is still in a job. I don't see it. And now we're at that critical part of the season where we have to win games. We have to win games. And we can't afford to give Graham Potter a game on. I mean, Tuesday's game is vital for both clubs, but going into those Champions League games, I mean, we're talking about Real Madrid, who love to win the Champions League. We're talking about a team, yes, we can beat them on their day, but look at us on our day. At the moment, I wouldn't even trust us against Scunthorpe. We are that bad. We are playing so bad. It is unbelievable. And the in-game tactics changes, management is poor. It's non-existent. That goes down to the manager. In-game tactics are finished. Kante coming on made sense. Madueke coming on sort of made sense. But then at that point, I'm confused, because what formation are we playing? Are we still doing a hybrid? Are we still trying to play as a back five? Or are we playing as a four at the back now with the two right back and left back? What are we doing? There's just no direction. And then at one point, I think Madueke ended up as a right wing back and Pulisic ends up as a left wing back. Reece James is back at right centre back. It was just confusing and chaotic and didn't really make any sense. And then, of course, Conor Gallagher has to come on, because he's now the new John Obi Mikel, isn't he? He's the one who will change the game for us. It didn't make any sense. And you've got Mason Mount sitting on that bench. Carney Chukwuemeka, who knows his club. Why did he not come on instead of Conor Gallagher? So many red alarms and red flags now. It's unbelievable that he's still in the job. It really is. And I do get it to an extent. But Todd Boehly has to make a bold decision here. He has to bite the bullet and get rid of him before it is too late. Nagelsmann is there. Luis Enrique is there. Maurizio Pochettino, I said a couple of months ago I wouldn't take him, but the way we're playing now, I'll take him. He's there. Hansi Flick, talk to the German Federation, please, and get him in. Please get someone in that can control this team. You're looking at Mudryk and we're blaming Mudryk for missing shots. But if you've got someone like Graham Potter managing you, coaching you day in, day out, your confidence is probably going to be shot to bits. It really is. We can't afford to go into this final part of the season carrying this dark cloud above us into pre-season, into the next season. Bite the bullet now, please, Todd Boehly. Bite the bullet. Get rid of Graham Potter. Get rid of him. He's so out of his depth, it is unbelievable. The only person that clearly cannot see this right now must be Todd Boehly, because every other Chelsea fan, even the Chelsea fans a couple of weeks ago that told me that I was delusional for not believing in Graham Potter, has now turned their back on Graham Potter. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. There's too much has happened in a negative way for this manager. If this was any other manager at any other club, if Roman Abramovich was still at this club, he would have sacked Graham Potter ages ago. The helicopter would have left Cobham months ago. He wouldn't have had it. And we are still putting up with mediocre rubbish, and it's not good enough at a club that's won things, that's established a top club, and we're talking, we fell down the ladder so quick. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how bad we've become under Graham Potter. And we've spent money. We've spent so much money and we look so bad. So bad, so poor. This is not just a blip. This is not just a couple of games where you're having a bad run of games. This is almost the whole season. We've underperformed and underachieved this season. I can't think back. The only game that really sticks out to me is the AC Milan game in the San Siro. That's the only game, and I think that was in October, that we've actually played some really good football. We actually played good football that night. Yes, we beat Leicester and we beat these other teams, and we went on a nice little run, and we done all right against Leeds. But I'm talking about the actual football, not just the result, but the football. We've got to go all the way back to the back end of last year. That's not good enough at all. This man is out of his depth. He's out of his depth at a club where he's under pressure. He's being paid £1 million a month, and he's not delivering what he's supposed to be delivering. Todd Boehly, you have to sack this man. If we lose on Tuesday, surely he's got to go. He's got to go. Even if the off chance that you can go and ring Nagelsmann, or you can go and ring whoever and try and get them in. Apparently he's turned down Tottenham. He's waiting for Chelsea. Go and get him. Bring him in. Sack him, bring him in, and then you've got the Champions League to hopefully cling on to this season as our only chance of silverware. Go and get someone that can deal with these big quality players. Graham Potter is not the guy to be dealing with the amount of talent that we're trying to bring through the door and build into a team that was already disjointed already, and bringing in this quality of players, Mudryk, Madueke, Enzo Fernandez, all of these other players, and Kunku might be coming in the summer. We need to go and get a striker. We might get a goalkeeper. All these players that we're bringing in, young players as well, and it hasn't worked. Bring in a manager that can cope with these players, please, because if we don't, we're going to end up going further down the ladder, and eventually what will happen is we'll become one of those teams that just float around mid-table. We've been there before. We didn't like it. Pre-Roman, we were there. I remember it. When you're watching other teams like the Arsenals and United and Liverpool and now Manchester City winning silverware week in, week out, or what season in, season out, you want to be there. You want to be there with amongst the top English teams in the league. We have to go and get a manager, give him now to this part of the season, give him the pre-season, and we kick on next season. I don't understand. We've got people at the club who do not have any football knowledge running the club. So the advisors underneath Todd Bowley have to make this call. They have to make the call. They do, because if we lose on Tuesday and we go out the Champions League to Real Madrid, we've got nothing to fight for, nothing to play for, and we're going to slowly creep further and further down that Premier League. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get relegated at all, but we're going to creep further and further down the Premier League. It's worrying times as a fan to see a manager so out of his depth. It's unbelievable. We have to change something before we end up crumbling, and we might not even get back into that position of fighting for the Premier League, fighting to get into top four. We might actually not become that and become this mid-table team that just is always there or thereabouts. Just there or thereabouts. Sack the manager, bring in a manager of quality that matches the quality of players that you're trying to bring in. Because Graham Potter, when you speak to him or you hear him speak or he speaks to someone, he doesn't strike me as someone that has the qualities to deliver what we need as fans for these players to do on the pitch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Am I too harsh? Do you agree that Potter needs to go? Am I too harsh? Does he need more time? Let me know what you think in the comments. This has been T.Dot from the Shed End. Until next time, do not forget to hit that Linktree link in the description, and we'll be back tomorrow with our Liverpool preview ahead of that crucial game on Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching. Until then, stay safe, and we'll be back soon.